Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. It's Kaghoe coming at you with another video. So today I wanted to take the time to talk about how all over the place the player base is with SoD's uncertainty, SoD's future, and just the general reaction to the Scarlet Enclave raid. I'm diving deep into the forums today, and there are just, like, these are the top 4 posts in the past week that we're going to be covering today, and they are just completely all over the place, and I think that just goes to show you how uncertain the community is, and how much Scarlet Enclave has either put everyone all the way here at full negative, or all the way here at full positive, and there's just no in between. So without further ado, we're going to dive right over here. So the first one is Scarlet needs more nerfs. So this is someone who said, I went 5 out of 8 tonight. It's crazy how strong everything is. They need more nerfs on the boss HP and adds. AoE ground mechanics should not one-shot or do 90% of health damage in SoD. This is not retail player base. This is classic dads who struggle to move out of one ground ability. Adding 2 to 3 is too much. Tanks get chunked to hell and back. That is true. I'll give them that. They say once you get 6 set, you'll be stronger. How is anyone going to get loot if groups can't even kill the second boss yet? Play 6 weeks of only killing the first boss. That's a no for me. Now 8 of 8 Sunday the 13th and still stand with the above opinion. So then it just goes into everyone saying skill issue, you don't need gear in original classic, almost no one got tier 3. Makes sense, the super dad gamers can't get tier, he says 4, I think he means 3.5. Then they just go back and forth at it, talking about it and going back about it being a skill issue. But I think this goes and shows you that while even someone who can do the content still thinks it should be nerfed, obviously I made the video earlier in this week saying it felt perfect after the nerfs, but you guys definitely pointed out I did do it with 35 people, and my counterpoint to that it was a very sloppy 35, right? We lost like over 10 people on every fight. We were not executing properly, and we were still able to kill the bosses and not even come close to the enrage timer. The only one that we came close to the enrage timer on was the Reborn Council. So it worked out really well, but it was to me that meant like it would be good if 20-25 people executed the raid properly, but a lot of you guys gave feedback to that if I was doing it with 35 I was out of touch and wrong, and you know I kind of agree to that, and I don't have enough ego to admit to act like I'm not wrong sometimes. So anyway, let's go over to the next one. So this is someone, the same person, literally the same person right here, a week later. SE isn't worth the time or effort. Canceled myself. Like I said, it's been a good run, but looking back, they made some really dumb decisions. All the raid had plenty of bugs that took weeks to fix. The only raid that felt great was BWL. Short raid with plenty of options and extra loot if you did the weekly dragon. If it wasn't for all the friends that I raided with, I'd say SoD is overall a bust. This is just wrong. SoD is, for a season, compared to SOM, and it blows it out of the water in every single category. It's led to so much innovation and ideas and takes on Classic WoW, good or bad, that I think will be great for the future, because I doubt there's I don't think we just go back to Season of Mastery after this. And while yes, I'm biased being a creator for primarily Season of Discovery right now, I still don't know how you can say SoD is a bust when you have hundreds of thousands of people playing it. And doing all the, it is an experimental thing. It is a complete, they didn't know it would be popular, and it blew SOM out of the water popular. And then there's a comment over here, right here. Goodbye, bye-bye, one fewer negative Nancy. Phase 1 was good, new, shiny. Phase 2 was good. Phase 3 was terrible. I'll just say terrible. He says okay. He's a pretty positive person. Sunken Temple Raid was fine. Itemization was a miss, but if you didn't like incursions, you could skip them. So calling it a mistake is being disingenuous. Molten Core was fine. Don't like stacking resist. I thought Molten Core was great, personally. I liked how they took all those unused and untouched reps and gear and things that were already in Classic and gave it that SoD twist. It was awesome to progress, to go and get that, to farm it out, to grind towards something in the world and make use of so many reputations that were just meh. Like Timbermaw people did it for fun, or like PvP to get that trinket, but other than that there was no reason to do it, and I had to do it on my mage and druid, and I was completely fine with it. I enjoy those types of grinds. I think it is very classic and very fun to go out there and do that, but that's me personally. If you don't like it, don't do Heat 3. Easy BWL was fine. I thought BWL was the peak of what rating should be in SoD. It was where we got the 2040 flex. It was where we got the ability to change the hard mode to up to 5x hard mode with all of the affixes. You only needed to do 3, but you could do 5 if you really wanted to torture yourself. I'm not sure if anyone actually ever did that, but you did 3 of them, and you did one of the weekly affixes for that. My raid and skipped the black affix the entire time, and we still were able to get some really good loot by doing 3 orb and doing the special one. So it was really awesome and felt good and felt satisfying. AQ hard modes was also the same thing. I felt like that was good. They added a mechanic to each boss, and they added a progressive thing. The only thing I wish was different is that you just turned it on at the beginning and it worked. You didn't have to run around and hunt the obelisk, because on launch it was just kind of not intuitive and terribly explained in my opinion, and it led to a lot of strife and issues. And AQ launch was a disaster, and AQ raid is historically where everyone quits, but Nax was fun. Doing big numbers equals good. So I liked Nax. Nax was enjoyable, but Nax was definitely a catch-up raid to get people to come back to the game with Scarlet Enclave, to get some gear, and to go into the new raid. So, and Scarlet Enclave is good. Overtuned at the start, but they're fixing the biggest issues in rage timers, and they're becoming more lenient. Still see people complaining that it's too hard, and others complaining nerfs are too much. Obvious proof you can't please everyone, but it's settling into a good spot. I'm enjoying the fights and the aesthetic, and we're making progress through it. The only thing I'm really missing right now is a big challenge after. I want a final raid with like 3 bosses that are just super hard. They don't award gear, so you go in with your Phase 8 Biss and push as hard as you can to get mounts or pets or toys, but no more power. So you go to other raids to get your power, and this is a final test. That's actually a pretty cool idea. I wonder, they've never really had like challenge raids too much. I mean, obviously getting like cutting edge and stuff is kind of that in retail, but it always is like gear. I wonder how many people would actually do like a for fun pure cosmetic raid that's like really hard and just a challenge to make it. And then other than that, SoD has been great. Not every choice was a hit. Fixed healing mages, but the extra specs, new raids, new ideas have all been great. World buffs on items, cheap flasks, extra transmutes, all trait specializations, dual specs, so much quality of life. I agree with all this. This is all awesome. I don't necessarily think every quality of life thing should go into whatever's next, but overall, like, this post is golden, and I really like it, 10, so thank you for sharing that. But that kind of sums up SoD. Obviously, we disagree a lot on the rating side of things, but, you know, it still is... At the end of the day, they took the gamble, and they went with SoD, and they made something that I think is awesome. I genuinely believe that, and if you compare it to any other Season of Mastery, it obliterated in every numerical metric. It has competed with Peak Wrath with numbers at the launch with Phase 1. So really important to keep that in mind. No matter where SoD ends, it still was a success. Then we have this one, Phase 9 SoD confirmation. I'm actually mentioned in this, so pretty cool to see that. Currently, we have a booming rebirth of population of returning players for Phase 8 and the new raid content. That does seem to be true, because there are a lot of people who say the raid has been awful. In addition, we have streamers No Hit Jerome, Kaghoe Gaming, Simon Eyes, not necessarily for the better, exploiting bosses resulting in rogue tank nerfs. I have never used a rogue tank. We can't even find a rogue tank to join us, so I don't think he's talking about me here, because I tank as a feral druid the entire time. Putting in solid work promoting the contract despite failure to provide any incentive for raiding in anything other than a 40-man Zerg. That is fair. I have done 30 to 40 every single time for the Enclave because I want to kill Balin, and that seems the most plausible way to do it. So what is the argument there's against for Phase 9 for SoD with its second wind rebirth, other than pure greed shareholders influencing investment of resources for further such additions as much requested Horde Paladins and Alliance Shaman? The majority of the player base has seen Phase 8 introduction of new content as a success. However, with the poor execution, it has been a complete failure, proving that new content for Phase 9 would be a success despite how the content is executed. I mean, it hasn't been poorly executed. I think the players are just bad. Like, people, okay, so not saying everyone's bad. I just think no one's done progression rating. And while I think that is very not SoD and not classic, and we should move away from that, I think that is where people are struggling to execute. But you can kill the fights. It's not like they're unkillable. You just have to put time, effort, and grind into it and progress, which is hard and very against SoD. But I don't think saying that is a complete failure. I think it's on us failing the raid, not the raid failing us. However, I still think 2 modes would have been much better than what we got. But the argument against is the SoD team has been developing in real time for over a year. It's been a huge task to develop and maintain this completely new popular game mode. They need a break. Giving them a break means they can work on whatever's next, whether that's a new season or the mythical Classic Plus. Stringing out SoD for an indefinite amount of time is probably not the best idea. While people might enjoy certain X-Packs from our history, I argued that spending more than 1 to 2 years in any X-Pack starts to make it feel very worn down. It is best for everyone to take some time and either play a different version of WoW or play a different game, so that when the next release comes out, it is more exciting to go back to. I think a lot of people are hanging out by a string. They went to SoD following Watlaka's in. Absolutely true. And it's been a great home since then. That said, they probably won't hang around for more and more experimental raids that require long bits of progression. Most progression-oriented raiders will probably also migrate to MOP as it becomes available. Agron already said that Phase 8 isn't the end of SoD. SoD is a success regardless of the Withers and Doomers. I know many people, including myself, that play all 3 or 4 versions. I don't play Anniversary, and Wildcraft US has a ton of new players that have never played the first phases. I played 1 and 2 and quit till the end of 7. What he said was intentionally ambiguous. It worded in a way that there could be a Phase 9 or a Classic Plus season on. The thing is that if it was a Phase 9 was coming, he would have come out and said that, because it would create far more hype and bring players in. And it is very likely this is the last phase of SoD, whether it is coming next is Classic Plus or another season built upon the back of SoD. So I personally don't think we're getting Phase 9. The 3 horsemen were culminates, and then the tweet that said continues, and then the literal promotional email from Blizzard that said the SoD ends here. So that, to me, that's kind of like the hard stop right there. The culminates changing to continue, you could say it was ambiguous, but it really does feel like they're stopping SoD with the... As far as raids, like, if we were to get a Phase 9, they could do some more with Hyjal, as well as give us Alliance Shaman and Horde Paladins, but I don't necessarily, like, that might be saved for whatever's next, or that. I just really refuse to believe that they put those hints in there, even now, even not getting it without anything concrete, because that would just be ridiculous. Then we have SoD TBC, no one wants it. The Scarlet Enclave, New Avalon, Karazhan Crypts are all popular and outstanding. Why revert back to recycled content from BC? No one wants it. We've done Black Temple, we've done SSC, it's been done. Hell, the 20th anniversaries are going back to TBC. Why use old content again? Make something new like you guys did with Scarlet Enclave. The Corrupted Ashbringer questline is finished and literally says we're going to Outland. This is no bueno. So when you complete the quest line right here, it says hence we're going to Outland. Agron never would have kept that if we were going to Outland. This doesn't mean TBC. SoD, most likely the original quest text was left in, if it even was that. There haven't been any links. Why would Agron leave that if there wasn't a hint? Literally zero work to leave in to. Come on, guys. They said the servers aren't going to TBC, so not sure what you're concerned about. Likely never said it. Do you personally know Agron? Well, yeah, what is he like at parties? So as much as I would like SoD TBC, I have had some pretty long texts talking about it. Just the idea that I asked them one time, like when I was on the could we go to TBC train, just the logistics of it is terribly far away, and like Season of Discovery has given us so many runes and abilities. It would be a colossal amount of work to make all of the SoD things work with the TBC pre-patch and going into that build. Like, it would pretty much they would have to build an entire new game is what the vibes I got from it. I don't know if that is possible or not. I don't know if they're doing it or not. This was a while ago. This was months ago. I was just kind of curious, like, from a developer perspective, how hard would it be to make TBC? And so that was the answer I got. So I think TBC is off the table. However, parts of TBC, as we saw, they ported New Avalon into the game. So I think if we were to get something like that, it would be at 60. And maybe, just maybe, they could drop something like Hellfire Peninsula just into Season of Discovery for Phase 9. Something like that could be very possible. We saw it with Scarlet Enclave. That is not in the classic game files. That is them literally yoinking something from another expansion and plopping it down into our beloved SoD. So anyway, guys, I truly hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, anything you'd like to add, any topics you would like to discuss, definitely drop it down below, because this just goes to show you how all over the place the player base is. We got people who are talking about nerfs, people who are canceling subs, people who want Phase 9, people who think we're going to TBC, and it just goes to show you what uncertainty does to the mind. So anyway, I hope you enjoy this, and until next time, I'll see you later. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Hey you. Yes you. Are you still there? Well, I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this entire video and making it to the end here. If you enjoyed this video, definitely check out the other videos about World of Warcraft listed in these playlists down below. And thank you again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.